Okay, so this is a doubt solving session for Maths chapter 25, probability. The first doubt is from exercise 25A, question number 9. Write the probability of a sure event. Now the probability of sure event is 1, always 1. Then second question is write the probability of an event which is impossible. The probability of an impossible event is 0. Then the third question is for an event E, write a relationship or a relation representing the range of values of P of E. That is, what is the range of values of probability of an event? So probability of an event can be smaller than equal to 1 or greater than equal to 0. That means probability will always be between 0 and 1. It can never be smaller than 0, neither it can be greater than 1. Right, so that's the answer for question number 9. Let's go ahead on to the second exercise. There are some doubts. Yes, so in the second exercise 25B, the doubt is in question number 14. Let's create some space for ourselves. Okay, in a single throw of dice, find the probability of, in a single throw of 2 dice. Okay, so there are 2 dice, remember that. Find the probability of number 1, a doublet. Now what is a doublet? Doublet means double number. Now when you throw 2 dice, the sample space is as you can see in front of you on your screen. The sample space contains how many outcomes? 36 outcomes. So what is the probability of getting a doublet? So probability of getting a doublet, is equal to number of favorable outcomes. How many doublets do you see here? Now I would just like you to pay attention to doublets. 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5 and 6 6. These are the doublets. How many doublets do you see over here? 6. So number of favorable outcomes are 6 and total number of outcomes 36. So probability of getting a doublet is 1 by 6. A number less than 3 on each dice. Now, a number less than 3 on each dice. Let me get another color. Yellow color is fine. Okay. Number less than 3 on each dice. This is okay. 1, 1 less than 3 on each dice. 1, comma 2 is okay. 1, comma 3 is not okay. Because we want a number less than 3. Right? 2, comma 1 is okay. 2, comma 2 is okay. 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2 or nothing, no number beyond this will work, right? So only 4 pairs are such where the numbers, both the numbers on both the dice are less than 3. So the probability of getting a number less than 3 on both dice is equal to 4 by 36, 1 by 9. Right? What is the probability that the sum of both the numbers is an odd number? Let's find it out. Let's use another color here. Let's use green color. Okay. So we have to find such numbers whose sum is an odd number. Any numbers will do, but sum should be odd number. Okay. So we have 1 over here. 1 comma 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 comma 4 and 1 comma 6. Then 2 comma 1, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 5, 3 comma 2, 3 comma 4 and 3 comma 6. So I'm getting 3 numbers from each row. If you have you observed that? From the first row I got 1 comma 2, 1 comma 4, 1 comma 6. From the second row 2 comma 1, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 5. From the third row 3 comma 2, 3 comma 4, 3 comma 6, because I want the sum as odd number. Then from the fourth row 4 comma 1, 4 comma 3, 4 comma 5, then 5 comma 2, 5 comma 4 and 5 comma 6, then 6 comma 1, 6 comma 3 and 6 comma 5. So from every row I'm getting three numbers, three pairs of numbers, such that the sum of both the numbers uh, is an odd number, right? So what is the probability over here? I'm directly writing the probability is, now there are three numbers in each row and there are six rows, so 18 by 36, which is 1 by 2. The probability of getting an odd number as a sum is 1 by 2, 50% chance. Okay, number 4, a total of at most 10. What do you mean by at most? The word at most. At most 10 means ज्यादा से ज्यादा 10. हिंदी में बता रहा हूं ताकि समझ में आएगा. ज्यादा से ज्यादा 10, मैक्सिमम 10, मैक्सिमम 10, राइट? अ टोटल ऑफ एट मोस्ट 10, ज्यादा से ज्यादा 10 होना चाहिए टोटल, ठीक है? 10 से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए, 10 से कम होगा तो चलेगा. अ टोटल ऑफ एट मोस्ट 10. Let's use the highlight here. Let's use orange color. At most 10. Okay, this will do. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Why these will do? Because if you add all these numbers, 1 plus 5, 1 plus 4, 1 plus 6, you get maximum 7, and here maximum 10 is allowed, right? These all will do. All will do. These will do. These will do. 4 1 4 2 4 3 4 4 4 5. 4 comma 6 will not do, because 4 comma 6 is at most. Okay, yeah, 4 comma 6 will also do, because at most 10, maximum 10 we are reaching. 5 comma 5, yes, and up to 6 comma 4. So all but three numbers are included in this particular outcome, a total of at most 10, right? So what is the probability here? The probability is 36 minus 3, 33 by 36. 3 11s are, 3 12s are. So answer is 11 by 12. So probability of getting at most 10 is 11 by 10. An odd number on one dice and a number less than or equal to 4 on other dice. So odd number on one dice, they are not saying odd number on first dice, odd number on any dice, and the other number should be less than or equal to 4. Less than will okay, and equal to 4 is also okay. Let's underline this. This is going to be challenging. An odd number on one dice. So I think the first row we have to keep in mind. 1 comma 1 is okay. 1 comma 2 is okay, because 1 is odd number and 2 is less than 4. Less than equal to 4 is okay. 1 comma 3 is okay. 1 comma 4 is okay. 2 comma 1 is okay, because 1 is odd number and 2 is even and less than 4. 2 comma 2 is not okay, because one odd number is required. 2 comma 3 is okay. 2 comma 4 is not okay. Less than equal to 4, because there is no odd number. Can you see the red marks? Should I zoom in on that? Okay, that's okay. Let's find it out. Next one. 3 comma 1 is okay. 3 comma 2 is okay. 3 comma 3 is okay. 3 comma 4 is okay. Okay. Then 4 comma 1 is okay. 4 comma 2 is not okay. 4 comma 3 is okay. Odd number on one dice and number less than or equal to 4 on other dice. 4 comma 5 will not do, because odd number is, yeah, 4 comma 5 is okay. 5 is odd number and the other number is 4 or less than 4, so that is okay. So that way 1 comma 5 is also okay, because one number is odd, which is 5, and the other number is less than equal to 4. Yeah, but 6 comma 1 is not okay. 1 is odd, but the other number 6 is not less than 4. Okay, so 4 comma 1, 4 comma 2, 4 comma 3, 4 comma 4, 4 comma 5. Then 5 comma 1, one number odd and other less than equal to 4. 5 comma 2 is okay, 5 comma 3 is okay, 5 comma 4 is okay. 6 comma 1, one number odd and other no. 6 comma 1 is not okay, because 1 is odd number, but the other number, which is 6, is greater than 4. 6 comma 3 is okay, I feel, because 3 is odd. No, 6 comma 3 will also not work. Yeah, so 6 comma 3, 6 comma 4, 6 comma 5, these numbers will not work. I think we have to check this answer, because this is very tricky. One number is odd and other number should be less than equal to 4. So this series of 5 is okay, right? Because 5 is odd and 1, 2, 3 and 4 are all less than equal to 4. Right? 5 comma 5 is not okay, definitely. But 6 comma 1, one number is odd, other is less than equal to 4. Odd number is the smaller number. Odd number cannot be the smaller number. 4 comma 1 is okay, because one number is odd and the other is less than equal to 4. So that idea fits here. Okay. Okay, so we have got the numbers. So how many such outcomes are there where one number is odd and the other number is less than equal to 4? So I've got, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in the first row. 6, 7. That's it. Only 7. That is only 2 in the second row. One number is odd and the other is, yeah, so 2 comma 5 will also come here. 2 comma 5 will come, definitely come, because 5 is odd, 2 is less than equal to 4. Yeah, 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 3 comma 4. So in the first row I've got 5 numbers. In the second row 2 comma 1, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 5, 3 numbers. In the third row 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 3 comma 4 and 3 comma 5. One number is odd, other is less than equal to 4. 5 is odd and 3 is less than equal to 4. Yes. So in the third row there are 5 such numbers. Then 4 comma 1, 4 comma 3, 4 comma 5. Again 3. And in the fifth row 5 comma 1, 5 comma 2, 5 comma 3, 5 comma 4. There are 4. And in the last row there are none. So 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 8, 16 plus 4, 20. 20 such outcomes. And the required probability will become 20 by 36. So it is 4 5s and 4 9s are 5 by 9. You have to check the answer. I don't have the answer. Please check it. Check it and check my method. If you have any doubts, you can just message me. Right. So this is solved. Now moving on to exercise 25C. This is the final exercise. Question number 25. Many students had doubt in this one. A circle with diameter 20 centimeter is drawn somewhere on a rectangular piece of paper. Let's draw a circle. I love to draw a circle over here. Let's draw a big one. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. Okay, so circle is drawn with diameter 20 centimeter. Okay, diameter is equal to 20 centimeter and therefore radius is equal to 10 centimeter. Okay, you know this. On a rectangular piece of paper. Oh, so we have to draw a rectangle also. Wait, let's select a rectangle. Great. So we have a rectangular piece of paper. So the diameter of circle is 20 centimeter and the radius is 10 centimeter. So we have a rectangular piece of paper on which we have drawn a circle. Okay, the length of rectangle is 40 centimeter and the breadth is 30 centimeter. And here, if you draw a radius, it is 10 centimeter. Okay, so everything is clear. This paper is kept horizontal on a tabletop and a dice very small in size is dropped on the rectangular paper without seeing towards it. If the dice falls and lands on the paper, only find the probability. Okay, now if you are throwing a dice, it has been assumed that the dice will fall on the paper only. It will not fall outside the paper. So either it will fall in the rectangle somewhere or on the circle, which is inside the rectangle. What is the probability that it will fall and land inside the circle and outside the circle? Okay, so probability of the dice falling inside the circle, right? Now the total area of circle is pi r square, pi into 10 square, which is the desired area, which is the required, which is the um, outcome which is required. What do you call that? The favorable outcomes. So favorable outcome is the area of the circle, and the total number of outcome is the total area of the rectangular piece of paper, because we have assumed that it will always fall on the paper. It cannot fall outside, right? So area of the paper is 40 into 30. So that's the probability of falling the dice inside the circle. That is 22 by 7 into, or we can write it 3.14 also. Not a problem. Let's write 3.14. Why we are doing this? 3.14 into 100 upon 40 into 30. So that is 314 upon 40 into 30. That is 4 3s are 12 into 100. Right? Let's find out in simple forms. So if you simplify this, you get 157 over here, and here you get 6. So 157 by 600. That's the probability of falling the dice inside the circle. And what is the probability that it will fall and land outside the circle? So probability of dice falling outside the circle. Now, favorable outcome is the area of rectangle minus area of circle. Let me write it properly. Probability of falling outside the circle is equal to area of rectangle minus area of circle upon total area, that is area of rectangle. So what is the area of rectangle? Area of rectangle is length into breadth. Length into breadth. What is the length? 40. What is the breadth? 30. Minus area of circle is pi into r square, which is 10 square, upon 40 into 30. Right? So what we'll get? 1200 minus 3.14 into 100 upon 1200. So 1200 minus 340 upon 1200. 1200 minus 300 is 900, and 900 minus 40 is 986. 986 upon 1200. If you simplify it, it is 493 are 2, 493 2s are 986, right? Because 49 twos are 98 and 2 threes are 6, correct? And here 600. So 493 upon 600. So that's the approximate probability of the dice falling outside the circle. Right, so that was question number 25. If there is some difference in answer in this particular question, because I don't know the answer right now, it must be because they have taken the value of pi as 22 by 7. I have taken it as 3.14 and solved it, so doesn't make a big huge difference. Okay, the method still remains the same as I've showed you. Question number 27. Three coins are tossed together. Three coins are tossed together. Write all the possible outcomes and now find the probability of getting exactly two heads, at least two heads, at most two heads, all tails, at least one tail. Now first, who would know this? That when you toss three coins simultaneously, what are the total number of outcomes? Let's first find that out. Total number of outcomes when three coins are tossed together is equal to. So the answer here is in the form of 2 raised to n. 2 raised to n. But what is the meaning of this 2 over here? 2 is the outcomes on tossing a single coin. Single coin. And what is n over here? N is the number of coins. N is the number of coins. So total number of outcomes when three coins are tossed together is equal to 2 raised to n. Right? So here how many coins are tossed together? 3. So total number of outcomes will be 8. Now let us write the sample space. Sample space. When three coins are tossed together, it becomes H, 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 all heads, H, H, T, H, T, H, T, H, H. Now there are all the possible outcomes where there is one tail and two heads are covered. Right? I will increase the number of tails now. T, T, H, T, H, T, and H, T, T. Right? And last one is T, T, T. So these are all the possible outcomes where three coins are tossed together. Okay. So what next? The next is the questions. Exactly two heads. Find the probability of exactly two heads. Number one, I'm directly going to write the answer. In how many of these outcomes you find exact two heads? Exact two heads are in this one, and this one. Other outcomes have more or less heads, but exact two heads are only in three outcomes. So the answer of the first one will be 3 by 8. Three outcomes with exact two heads, and 8 is the total number of outcomes. Second question. What is the second question? Just a moment. Uh, exactly two heads is okay. At least two heads. What do you mean by the word at least? What do you mean by at least? At least means kam se kam. Minimum. मिनिमम 2 हेड्स तो होना ही चाहिए, एटलीस्ट 2 हेड्स, मिनिमम 2 हेड, 2 से ज़्यादा चलेगा, 2 से कम नहीं चलेगा, 2 भी चलेगा, एटलीस्ट 2 हेड्स. So in at least 2 heads you get 3 heads and all the outcomes having 2 heads. So there are 4 outcomes which has at least 2 heads. So 4 by 8, which is equal to 1 by 2, at least 2 heads. Then at most 2 heads, at most 2 heads. I just told you what is the meaning of at most. At most means ज्यादा से ज्यादा, maximum. 2 हेड से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए, ज्यादा से ज्यादा 2 चलेगा, 2 से कम भी चलेगा. So at most 2 heads में we will get this, 2 heads, 2 heads, 2 heads. 1 head will also do, 1 head will do, 1 head will do, no head will also do. At most ज्यादा से ज्यादा 2 चाहिए, 1 भी चलेगा, 0 भी चलेगा. So in how many outcomes you have at most 2 heads? 7. 7 by 8. Right? Next, all tails. Only one outcome has all tails. This one. 1 by 8. And at least one tail. At least one tail. एक टेल तो होना ही चाहिए, राइट? बाकी सारे हेड्स रहेंगे तो भी चलेगा. सो दिस इज ओके, दिस इज ओके. एटलीस्ट वन टेल, एटलीस्ट वन टेल. 2 टेल भी चलेगा, एटलीस्ट मतलब मिनिमम, मतलब कम से कम एक टेल चाहिए, एटलीस्ट वन टेल. 7 आउटकम्स, राइट? सो 7 by 8 has at least one tail. Correct? So question number 27 is done. Simple it is. Now question number 30. I think that's the last one. We are on the last question. Question number 30 says that offices in Delhi are open 5 days in a week, Monday to Friday. 2 employees of an office remain absent for 1 day in the same particular week. Find the probability that they remain absent on the same day, on consecutive day, and on different days. Oh, see, offices, first of all, they remain open for 5 days in a week. Now there are 2 employees. See, they have actually explained here very nicely. I cannot explain better than this. They have actually done a very good job over here. Let us read it now and then try to understand the solution which is given only. Right, just a moment. Okay, so total number of, what they are saying is total number of all possible outcome is 5 into 5. That is 25. Why 25? Because we have 2 employees, and for both the employees to remain absent, they have 5 options each. They have 5 options each. First employee has 5 options, second employee has 5 options. So both the employees have 5 options each for remaining absent. Right? Let the 5 days of the week be denoted by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, M, T, W, T, H, and F. That is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then, in the first one, what is the probability that they remain absent on the same day? See, favorable cases will become MM, TT, WW, TH, TH, and FF. Out of all the possible combinations of the days, these 5 days on which these 2 employees will remain absent, these are the outcomes where they are absent on the same day. So there are just 5 outcomes like that, right? Either they both remain absent on Monday, or they both remain absent on Tuesday, or they both remain absent on Wednesday, or they both remain absent on Thursday, or they both remain absent on Friday. That is, that there are only 5 outcomes uh, which denotes that they are absent on the same day. Okay, so what to do here? The favorable outcomes will be 5, total number of outcomes will be 25. So required probability will be 25 by 25, that is 1 by 5. So that is your first answer. Okay, 1 by 5. What next? Next is find the probability that they remain absent on consecutive day. Consecutive day. Now consecutive day means one after another, the days which are one after another, that is Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Monday. Correct. Tuesday, Monday is also consecutive, na? Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Monday. What is the difference? You might ask, what is the difference between Monday, Tuesday, and Tuesday, Monday? If first employee remains absent on Monday and second on Tuesday, that means they are absent on consecutive days. But what if the second employee remains absent on Monday and first on Tuesday? They both are different people. Both two different people remain absent on either Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Monday. They both will be part of the favorable outcomes. Similarly, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Friday, Thursday. So how many outcomes are there? 8 outcomes. 8 such outcomes where these two employees are absent on consecutive days. So the probability will be 8 by 25. And what is the probability that they remain absent on different days? So they have done very smart thing. They have just written it as 1 minus the probability that they remain absent on the same days. That is 1 minus 1 by 5, which is 4 by 5. So the highest probability is 4 by 5 that they remain absent on different days. That is the highest probability. So that is how you do question number 30. So all the doubts from chapter probability I have solved in this particular video. Next I'm going to solve doubts from AP, and that's going to be a long video because I have different type of questions asked in that video, not only from Selena but also from other textbook which Sanjeevni is following, and we are all going to see that those interesting kind of questions, right? Because those kind of questions can be asked in ICSE boards. So we will do those by taking a little time, right? So see you in the next video. Bye.